Imagine you're back in 2020. The pandemic has just begun. Schools are shutting down, offices are shutting down, even courts and hospitals are shutting down. Teachers are struggling to teach online, managers are struggling to run meetings online, and all of us together are struggling to stay connected. Now, pause for a second. So, if this shift was this difficult for users like us, how difficult it would have been for companies like Zoom? In 2019, Zoom was just another business video tool. But in 2020, it has to adapt itself to become a household name. Its app downloads jumped from 16 millions in 2019 to hundreds of millions in 2020. And within months, Let's Zoom became a daily sentence. But here is the real question. Did Zoom just become lucky, or it was pandemic which made Zoom to transform itself? So, we are going to first understand what are the challenges that Zoom faced during this transformation. Before we dive deep into this case study, make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the Business Playbook. The pandemic did not slowly change the world, but it shocked the system. In India, the March 2020 lockdown pushed millions of students and employees online in a single week. Globally, remote work adoption jumped by years within days. This was not normal growth. This was forced adoption. So, let's break this down logically. A health crisis forced governments to impose lockdowns. A social shift made physical meetings impossible. A technological gap appeared overnight. People needed reliable digital communication. And a legal and security concern emerged, where privacy suddenly mattered at scale. This combination created one reality, where communication infrastructure became as critical as electricity. And this is what exactly Pastel Forces looks like in real life. External forces reshaping demands faster than companies can react. And here is the twist. Zoom was never designed for this explosive demand. It was ideally built for business meetings, not for schools, colleges, weddings, or dance classes, or code sessions. And that is where the real danger begins. Because sudden demand can destroy a company faster than slow failure. So, what actually happened when millions rushed to Zoom? Between December 2019 and April 2020, Zoom's daily meeting participants jumped from about 10 million to 300 million. That is 30 times growth in roughly 3 months. Servers struggled, meetings got interrupted, and security flaws were suddenly visible to the world. The term Zoom bombing entered public conversations. Even governments raised concern about privacy. At the same time, competitors woke up. Microsoft pushed Teams aggressively. Google made Meet free for everyone. The switching cost was almost zero. One bad experience and user could leave. This was the classic high competition and low switching cost pressure on any company. And most companies collapse at this stage. Either they defend profit, or they slow down, or they deny the problem. But Zoom did none of these. Instead, Zoom made three decisions that changed everything. Decision 1. Protect trust before growth. Zoom did something counterintuitive. It paused all new features for 90 days and focused only on security and privacy. Encryption was updated. Meeting controls were tightened. External security experts were brought in. Revenue growth slowed, but trust was repaired. In a crisis, trust is not a soft asset, it is infrastructure. Decision 2. Keep the product extremely simple. Zoom did not add complexity, it doubled down on simplicity. Click link, join meeting. Works on low bandwidth, works across devices. For Indian users with unstable internet, this mattered a lot. This is product market fit in action. The product matched the exact pain of the moment. And decision 3. Let users drive growth. Zoom's free plan allowed anyone to host meetings with limits. This created habit. Habit created dependence. And dependence created paid users. This is the network effect. Each new user pulled in more users. Zoom did not win because of technology alone. It won because of taking right decision under pressure. And those decisions contain lessons for every business. First, crises do not create trends. It just accelerates them. Remote work was coming anyway. COVID simply compressed 10 years into 10 weeks. So, if you wait for stability, you miss acceleration. Second, simplicity scales faster than intelligence. Zoom beat smarter, bigger companies by being easier. In India, UPI succeeded for the same reason. Simple products travel faster. Third, freemium is a behavior strategy, not a pricing strategy. Zoom's free plan trained users before charging them. First behavior, then revenue. And fourth, trust is earned faster than brand and lost faster too. Zoom fixed problems publicly and quickly. That transparency converted criticism into loyalty. If you are building or managing something, apply this today. Try removing the friction from the existing processes before adding any feature to the product. And treat trust as the core business asset which cannot be sacrificed. Remember, the only thing which is permanent in the business world is change. The pandemic has not only helped Zoom grow, but it arrived at the exact moment when Zoom needed relevance. And Zoom survived because it aligned its internal decisions with the external forces and user pain points perfectly. So that is how pandemic saved Zoom. Not by chance, but by choices. So, if you find this video insightful, hit that like button. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to the Business Playbook for more deep dives into the world of business. I will see you in the next video next week.